All right, so in an effort not to atrophy your form and function kind of charting skills, we're going to take a little bit of a break from our verb form sentence transformation second grammar unit, and we'll go back and do the same thing that you did during your first grammar unit. So don't forget, don't want to lose that sentence pattern handout with a nice analysis process kind of on the back. If that's gotten away from you, on Edmodo and our class website, there's a grammar folder, and you should be able to find that essential handout, and you can go to the library, reprint it. It just won't be orange, but you'll still have access to it. So let's take a look at the first two sentences, and then we'll do 3, 4, and 5 in class, and then 6 through 10 on the back will be kind of independent practice. So all of the skills from our first grammar unit you'll need. All right, so the students were studying in the library and in the campus cafe. So the only thing that's going to be different in these sentences is the verb may have more than one or two, because remember we could have a preposition that could be a particle, more than sort of two words. So it could just be one word, but in this case, if you look at the sentence, really the verb is we're studying. That's going to be your whole verb there. So double check, right? In is a preposition, and this in is another preposition. Circle those prepositional phrases, because that's our kind of third step there. So look for the verb, look for the preposition, circle the prepositional phrases. In this case, don't forget, if you have a and or an or, right? Remember, we're going to group those two structures together. We'll just treat them like they're one thing. It's a little weird because they're prepositional phrases. So now we can draw our lines. Students were studying. Okay, so top row all the way across first. That makes it a lot easier to figure out the verb if it's complicated. So the students, that's our first noun phrase. Right? To the right of the verb, we have two prepositional phrases. So if this was a linking verb, that could be an adjective, that could be an important subject complement. If they're adverbial prepositional phrases, that's going to make this an intransitive verb. Okay? So we're studying. So in the library, in the campus cafe, that's really where you were doing the action. And so since where is one of our adverb questions, draw our arrow to our verb there. Since all we have to the right is adverbial stuff, remember that's pattern 6, intransitive. All right, so we took care of that prepositional phrases and form, right? Adverb and function. All we have left to do on the bottom row is identify the students as our subject. Okay, so prepositional phrases, right, you group together. Noun phrases you group together. Verb, you might have more than one word now, and you want to make sure that you account for the form and function of everything. With prepositional phrases, as long as you circle them, draw that arrow, or circle them, write the question, or write adverb down here, then you've identified the form and function. All right, so number 2. I have finally found my lost scarf. So this is a little strange, because if you look for your verb, right, you say, okay, it's found, but you have a have over here, and you've got this adverb, basically, right? When did you find it? Find it, finally, okay? So this little adverb is sort of in between, it's interrupting your subject and your verb. So when you have an interrupting adverb, you're gonna put parentheses around it. So that's what we were saving the parentheses for. Put parentheses around it, just draw a little arrow so you can kind of like visually see that this adverb is actually modifying that verb that is kind of smashed in between there. You'll have not. Not is a really common adverb to have sort of a negative sentence, but you can also sort of ungracefully have other adverbs that are splitting up your sentence there. And generally we do that for emphasis. Makes it a little bit more obvious, or just makes the adverb stand out. Okay. All right, so we found our verb. We had a little interrupting adverb, so we dealt with it. There are no prepositions, so we can draw our lines. And since you've put parentheses around it, you've identified it with the arrow as an adverb, you don't really have to do anything else below it, okay? So you have in here, then you can just put verb. There's no need to do anything fancy with that little adverb. As long as you put parentheses around it, draw the little arrow. Okay. All right, so across the top row, I, even though it's a one-word pronoun, we're still going to say noun phrase one because we said pronoun or a noun phrase can be any word or group of words that sort of have that noun form. And then to the right, my lost scarf, right? All of those words modify scarf, so we're grouping together that noun phrase. So that's different than I, so that's going to be noun phrase two. So across the bottom row then, because we have a noun phrase two, we know we have a transitive verb. And so with only a noun phrase two, that's going to be the direct object, right? Who or what was found, the lost scarf. With only a direct object, that makes this pattern 7. All right, so I'll see you in class. We'll do 3, 4, and 5, and then the rest of them on the back will be independent practice.